What is up, class? Sorry that I am late to record today. It's been a long, long day. Hold on one second, because I gotta shut this door. It's kind of messing up my light a little bit. Anyway, um, I have been busy all day. Normally, I try to shoot these things by the afternoon. Right now, it's 4:41 p.m., which means this video, you're probably going to be watching it at 6:30 p.m. or later. So forgive me for not having this video up earlier, but we are in week 3. Week 3. So there is a lot that I have to get into, a lot that we have to discuss. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we will get started with this week's festivities, shall we? Okay. There we go. All right. So first, okay, again, the first place we always enter when we get into the modules is assignments, right? So let me go to student view so I can see what you guys see. So there's a lot of stuff at the moment, all right? Don't be intimidated. Everything is going to be all right, okay? But I'll go over each assignment one by one. So this is discussion 3. It doesn't look like it's got a title yet, but we will go ahead and title this right now. Let me leave the student view. I'll do this while I am online so you can see it. First Amendment. Okay, so let's save that. Now let's go back to the student view so I can see what you guys see. All right. Okay, there we go. So the discussion First Amendment, I did a little switcheroo this week. This discussion is actually going to be due on the 23rd, and it's going to close on the 25th. The reason why is because this discussion, unlike your previous 2-week discussions, this discussion is worth 5 points instead of 3. So you would need to do this discussion. And if you didn't do good discussion post last week, I told you in the comments, I said, look, this discussion ain't hitting it, it's either too short, your responses were weak, whatever. So this week, you're going to want to make sure you have strong responses and a strong initial post. And you're definitely going to want to make sure you actually do the discussion, because if you get a 0 on this, it is going to sting your grade. The flip side of that is if you do the discussion and you follow the directions that I've laid out for you, you will get 5 points, and that'll add a great big boost to your grade, okay? So want to make sure you do that. The quiz, as always, is going to be due Sunday. So make sure you get that done on Sunday. Nothing more to talk there. Your final paper. Okay, so here it is about your final paper. And I'll probably post another video on this, but I want you to follow the APA style, all right? This is a 2.5-page paper that you have to do on one of these topics. Now, I got word from you that the misrepresentation link isn't exactly working right. That's no problem. I could find a version of that link that will work. And you could also, if you want to buy the movie on Amazon, you can. That's an option. Race 2012 is a little bit different. The movie is available, but I don't think there's a digital copy of it. So you'd have to pay like $20 for it on Amazon, which is a lot of money. So I don't necessarily want you to do that. But the link that I posted will send you to clips of the movie. If you watch those clips of Race 2012 on PBS's website, you will do a decent job on that. All right. If you wait until the very last minute to do this paper and you find a broken link or something, it's your responsibility to do another paper, okay? Because on the last day of class, it's going to be impossible to kind of like, do what I need to do to find a link that's not broken. Again, all of these movies are available for purchase. I don't necessarily want you to have to purchase them. But if you look at the APA style, what you want to do is you just want to follow the directions that I put forth, or follow my example paper rather. Follow the directions, but also just look at my example paper. Let me see if I posted that yet. Let's go to, let's leave the student view. Let's stay in student view actually. Let's go to modules. And then we will look and see. So I have the rubric here. This is a 10-point paper. The rubric kind of shows you what I am looking for. If it doesn't populate when you open it, then you're just going to want to click on the JPEG. Then you can view or download it. And then that's the rubric. So this is everything that I'm looking for in that paper. All right. I'm not going to go over the rubric. This is independent study, so you could do that on your own. But let me actually, so that's that. Now, let me show you my example paper. So this is what I want you to look at to get the best example of how to do an APA style paper. I want you to go by the 2016 version of APA style. The newest version, a lot of professors in the social sciences, we don't necessarily like the newest version of APA style because that version, they don't like the running head. I like the running head, so that's one of the criteria I grade on. The page number is optional for the first page, and then your title page looks like this. Please do not try to get creative on your title page. You just need the title of your paper, your name with your middle initial, and the school you go to. When I wrote this paper, I went to the University of Southern California. Your running head is going to be a shortened title of your, sorry, this thing isn't doing what I needed to. Let me download it. Maybe that'll make the difference. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the title of your paper, your running head is going to be a shortened version of the title of your paper. So let me show you how that looks. My paper was called Trends in Television Watching Habits. A shortened version of this title is Television Watching. I put running head on the first page, a colon, and then television watching in all capital letters. And then that's how it looks on the first page. On every preceding page, you don't need to write running head, you just write television watching. And then your page numbers go on the top of your page like so. Make sure you cite everything. If you lift it from a place, if you paraphrase it, anything like that, if it's a direct quote, citation marks need to go at the end of the sentence. Look at my paper. It's cited everywhere, and I mean everywhere. If it didn't come from my brain, that means it came from somewhere else. It needs to be cited. When you do not cite your work, it is considered plagiarism, okay? So all that. And then let me just scroll down to my paper. This was a paper where I actually showed the charts and you don't need to do that for this paper. You just really need to stop at the reference page. My references are in alphabetical order, right? Alphabetical order by last name, and there's a hanging indentation, okay? The name of your reference page is references, okay? Don't, whatever you learned, write in MLA style, forget about it for this paper because this is APA style. All right. So that's just kind of a brief overview of that. If you want to call me or text me or email me and ask me any further questions, I'm willing to do that. If you turn this paper into me like a week before it's due, I can go over it and tell you, hey, this is what you need to fix, and you can fix it and get a better grade. If it's a fine paper, I'll grade it as is. I'll show you what your grade is, and you can either fix it or you could turn in a better paper. If you wait too late to do this, though, I won't have time to do that, and your grade will be what it is. So I just want you guys to know that. All right, so that's for your paper. That was a quick overview. Again, this is an independent study class, so you guys have to independently study, watch the videos, look at all the links, look at all the APA references, sources that I put in the links, because there's a bunch. Look at all that stuff, and you'll do well on that paper. All right, let me go to the modules again to show you. All right, see? So I've got a guide to APA style, a Purdue's guide to APA, how to write a critical analysis paper, which is what this paper is, how to write in politically correct language so you don't offend anybody when you're writing. And then this is the example paper. All right. Any questions, call, text, email, you know the drill. Now let's go back to assignments. So then, and then sorry, shit's falling all over the place in here. Let me make sure I get this right. Okay. So then for the SLO questions, those are just district questions that the district wants you to be able to answer. You could take it multiple times. Every time you take it, the correct answer is going to populate. Again, this is just district questions. You can look in the text for the answers, but you don't have to. Just take it as many times as you can until you get 100%. That's my advice for that. But if you want to look for the answers in your text or on the online text or whatever, feel free to do that. But I'm telling you that you do not have to do that if you do not want to do that. Okay. Your final multiple choice exam, however, which is going to be different from this, because there's this one's titled SLO questions. The other one is just going to be final exam. I'm going to post that next week. That exam, you will have 2 tries to take it and get 100. Your first try, if you don't do so hot, you can take it again, and your second grade will be recorded, or whatever your highest grade is for that multiple choice. The right answers are not going to populate after your first try. So make sure that if you get something wrong on the first try, make sure you get it right on the second try. That's going to post next week. So I'm not going to post it quite yet. I'm just going to leave this stuff up. The final paper in the multiple choice, those are due at the end of the class period, both multiple choice exams. Those are going to be due towards the end. But what's due in week 3 is this discussion and this quiz. All right, that's what's due this week. For the quiz, I needed to show you guys something real quick as well. So I'm just gonna show you. Let me leave student view so you don't get confused. All right. So the Lakers bring back Avery had popped up on my Sports Center timeline. Anyway, so one of these questions might be a little confusing, and this one right here, question number 7. I know you guys have probably been hearing that the United States of America is a two-party system your whole lives. That's kind of true, but it's also kind of false. What America properly is, what we technically are in this country, is we are a multi-party system. We are a multi-party system that operates like a two-party system, okay? There's a very important distinction between the two. We are a multi-party system. We operate as a two-party system. So there are other political parties in this country. Most of the time, they play spoiler, especially in presidential elections. It's the way the system is set up, it's not made for third parties. They don't have enough money. Their names aren't always on the ballots in every places. They don't have the machines working behind them that Democrats or Republicans have. If you are not a Democrat or a Republican, you are a third party. A third party is a candidate that's neither a Democrat or a Republican. So in our system, we have a winner-take-all system. So the person who gets the most votes wins elections. That is why we lean towards a two-party system, even though there are a multitude of parties. So the correct answer to this question is we are a multi-party system. All right. We operate as a two-party system. So when people say we're a two-party system, they're not really wrong, but technically they're wrong because there are other parties. And in other elections that's not presidential elections, those third parties can win, and sometimes they do win. The last time a governor third party candidate won, I think it was in 1999 when Jesse Ventura ran as I think he was a Reform Party candidate, but he ran in Minnesota. But the Democrats and Republicans then changed the rules to make it harder for third party candidates to run and win elections. So it just doesn't happen. All right. So again, we are a two-party system, or we're a multi-party system that operates as a two-party system. We're a multi-party system that operates as a two-party system. Make sure you get that answer right on the quiz and then on the exam when you take the exam next week. Okay, so let me see if I missed anything in those regards. Okay, so I think I'm done with that. I do need to go back to the First Amendment lecture real quick. So this lecture, you're going to have to actually watch a lecture from me. This is why I'm giving you extra time on it, because I want you guys to do a good job. And I want you to understand what the First Amendment is. If I had longer than 5 weeks with you guys, I promise you, I would give you guys a long, long lecture on this, and it'd be its own unit. But since time is limited, I gave a video lecture, and I gave you this discussion that's going to be on the First Amendment. So notice the little things here and there. Next week, I will go in depth about the discussion after you complete it. But yeah, and like if you can, try to figure out how the First Amendment plays in or ties into vaccinations, because that's interesting as well. Because a lot of people think that First Amendment rights are being violated when they're really not being violated. So we have to understand what the First Amendment is. Your First Amendment is your freedom of expression, your freedom of religion, all this stuff. And the freedom of religion is interesting as well, because I know a lot of people are trying to file for religious exemptions from the virus, or from the vaccine rather. And it'll be interesting to see how that works, because there have been cases where parents did not get their children vaccinated with other vaccines. Children end up dying, and those parents are held liable for that stuff. But then on the other hand, in different states, I've seen parents not get their children vaccinated. Their kids end up dying, and their state Supreme Court sides with the parents. So it could get very, very, very complicated. But we'll talk about that at a later time. I just wanted to kind of get that out there to just to show you how crazy it gets with the First Amendment. So anyway, I believe I am done. If you have any questions, call, text, or email me. Please do not forget. I'm not under any obligation to send out reminders either. I do that as a nice goodwill gesture. You guys have to make sure the first place that you go is assignments. Look at those due dates and get stuff done for that week, okay? And you really aren't going to want to be missing the due date of that the exams or any of that stuff, because that's going to take a big chunk out of your grade. And I believe that is it for me. So again, call, text, and email, or email if you have any questions. I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.